Hello, hi, welcome back to a new video. Look at me being all productive. I said that I was going to do a mega massive book haul for February, and here I am.
It is so hard to stop.
Technically, we're combining two book hauls into one. Just to give you a little, I'm going to change the thing, but we've got to go through all of these. I just want to point out, this isn't to brag or anything, I just want to tell you how much I spent. So the first day, I went to High Peak Bookstore, which I've mentioned before, and I spent about £18. I got 5 books, I think. I'd already got 2 books that same day. I was in Morrison's supermarket. I've noticed that they're doing those book kind of shelf donation charity parts, so I got 2 books there. And then the day after, I'd gone out with some friends. I'd gone into 2 bookstores. I'm not going to tell you the name of the first one because it was local, so I don't want you all to find out where I live. And then the second one was Waterstones. I'm currently reading 2 books. One of them is one of the new books, so I'll show you that one second. But I'm currently reading this, and I really don't like it. This was fairly new, not that far into it. I'm not liking it. I've made this new rule, obviously I've mentioned it in the last video, that I'm not going to put a book down as a DNF. I'm just going to put it down as a don't want to read it at the minute, we'll come back to it in potentially the next 60 years. I've not been wanting to read for the last few days because I've just been so burnt out. The second book I'm currently reading is The Convenience Store by the Sea by Sonoko Mashida. It's a Japanese book that was, it is translated to English. You'll see later on in this video that I've kind of gone for a whole kind of comfy vibe in the sense that I've gotten quite a few books that are, or what I'm expecting to be comfy. I don't know, like I said, I've not read any of these books yet, so that's another book that I'm currently reading. I was going to go through like all the backs and read what was on the backs and tell you what the book was about, but 26 books to get through, guys. I don't want this video to be like 3 hours long. This isn't bragging because, as we all know by now, I'm very poor. I mean, I know people are very private about their income and stuff. I moved into this job and then the worst timing possible, the exact same time I moved into this flat in June of 2023. Just after I come back from Belgium, I had my hours cut. So I've been basically, this is why my videos have been inconsistent, because I can literally scrape by the penny if I do my bare minimum hours. But the second that there's sickness or overtime, I'm jumping in so I can I've got some spare money. As of this last month, we've had 3 people at work that have gone on to different jobs. So I've kind of absorbed, in a sense, my own job as well as 3 other people. So this last month's pay has been really good, and I thought, you know what, I've not been able to treat myself in over a year and a half properly. So why don't I treat myself? So I went all out. I spent well, in the first store I spent £89, I think it was. The second store at Waterstones, I was really annoyed because I missed out getting an extra point on my royalty card thing, whatever it is. I spent like £49, 60 something pence. And then at that bookstore before, the day before, the High Peak Bookstore, I spent like 18 quid. So yeah, I've definitely treated myself this month. But first up is a book that you've already seen, and it's Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. If you've watched the other videos on this channel, you would have seen this before because it was in my Halloween video. And the book, I didn't own it, it was gifted for the borrowing purposes of making the Halloween video. I had to give it back. I saw it in this store and I was like, I'm having that. And this, I'm sorry, the other books are going to be quick. It's just this one first book I just want to point out. When I move into this new house, I'm going to have a custom built bookshelf that I'm going to build with my dad. It's not going to be like an actual bookcase thing. It's going to be like floor to ceiling. This book's going to go on display. Piles are all the wrong way, so I can't look. But I do have some other books by T. Kingfisher. Second book I brought because my friend said it was gay. Quite literally. She was like, oh, it's gay. So I brought it. I thought, why not? The whole definition of like shop till you drop, I never realised until that actual day, because take away about 6 of these books that obviously came from a different day. We even had to literally go back and drop the books off at the car. But no, the second book, which I have no clue about, is Chuck Tingle, Bury Your Gaze. My friend literally picked it up, says it's gay. I'm like, okay, buying it. I don't have a clue what this is about. Next up is a book, again, by the same friend that I had seen pick up, and I thought, oh, I kind of like the look of this book. It's God Killer by Hannah Kana. I think it's a fantasy. I'm not kind of fairly used to fantasy books at the minute. I'm kind of delved into horror, like I'm reading horror stuff, or cozy, comfy, like cottagey, convenience store books, should I say. But no, I kind of want to get into horror as my next kind of theme, because we all know that I'm trying to work my way through the different genres of books to try and find out what kind of genre is my favourite. I've gone through crime, I've had enough of crime, I've got about 25-30 crime books still on another bookshelf that I still haven't read, and I've got all of these books by Edward Marston. I also want to point out that I am sacrificing sleep for this, because it's currently 9 at night, and to you guys that might not sound late, but when you have to be up at 5, sometimes 6 o'clock in the morning for work, it's late. Next book is The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and it's spicy, and it's by Laurie Gilmore. And I only brought this because my friend, I panicked then. Some of these have got stickers on, and it's got the location name. I only brought this because it's new, and it was cheap compared to the newer books. Like these newer books in this other store was like £8 to £12, £15. My friend saw and she was like, oh, they've got the second book. This was the book that I was on about earlier. So I've got the first one on my phone. Pumpkin Spice Cafe, that's it. And as you can see, it says it's spicy, so I'm looking forward to I haven't read, apart from Brainworms, which is disgusting, I've not really read like a proper kind of spicy book yet, so I'm interested to read the first and second, like this. You know, when I move into this new house, I really don't know how much I've just not recorded the audio, because I've just knocked my microphone and I realised that it had muted. As you can see, I'm on this crappy little arm, and this little wire where my pinky finger is here is the power cord for this microphone. But then, as you can see, because of this twisty knob here, to have it right, it disconnects the wire all the time, and I don't have the original microphone stand that came with this microphone, so I'm a little bit screwed. We've finally got a Stephen King book, and my friend also got me one. I don't know if it's to borrow or just to keep, but I think she found it at a car boot. But no, I've got that video idea, like I said, for a while now, that I want to kind of read 3 Stephen King books. I've never read Stephen King, so holding my finger in front of the sticker here, but we've got Stephen King, and it's Outsider. Didn't even read what it was about. Next up, my friend recommended this. They recommended a lot of these books. We've got The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. As my friend was describing this, I was like, it basically sounds like, what's the word? There's that movie where they can kind of do everything with 24 hours. The Purge. So she was mentioning this, and I was like, it kind of sounds like The Purge. And she was like, yeah, it's totally not The Purge, but it sounds like The Purge. Well, hey, 1 pile down, 3 more to go. This was part of the whole book thing. Like, you know, when I mentioned earlier, like I was going for a specific kind of vibe. So this was another one. This is by Mark Lawrence. It's The Book That Wouldn't Burn. And I think it was this one that kind of gave me Midnight Library vibes. Try not to buy hardback books because they take up a lot of room and they tend to be more expensive. I gotta save that dough. Gotta earn that bread. Found this book and I've been looking for it for ages. We've got More Than This by Patrick Ness. It's been on my Goodreads to be read list for quite a while now. I really can't wait to read this. I might read this in February because I kind of want to talk about it more. If I read it in February, I can put it in my March read video. Next up, again, this was like when I was going through the whole theme in Waterstones of like, I want kind of cozy looking books, and I saw this. And it's the, I can't pronounce this, Dalagoot Dream Department Store. And it's the Korean's #1 bestseller. The Dream You Ordered is sold out by Mai Lee. There's like a kind of Asian theme in a sense of, I've brought quite a few kind of Korean Japanese books that have obviously translated into English. This is The Last Bookstore on Earth by Lily Braun Arnold. I think I brought this because I needed to get another one for the offer, and it looked like it was kind of like scattered around with the other kind of book themed books. If you've watched my video of like all the books that I read in 2024, you'd know that Midnight Library was one of my favourite books of last year, so I think that anything that kind of reminded me of that book I brought. And this was another book, The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. I've got another book which I've actually read, Bloom by Delilah Dawson. Spoiler alert, you'll see this in the March video, like the books read in February, because technically, because I'm currently recording this on the 1st of February, I finished this before February. I could have put it in my January video, but technically I'd already finished filming it and I was uploading it, so no, I really enjoyed this, so stay tuned for the March video, all the books that I read in February. I have got a lot to say about this. Next one, again recommended by a friend, And it's only because I've never read a book by this person. Mort by Terry Pratchett. I've heard of Terry Pratchett. I've just never read any of their books. Don't even have a clue what it's about again. So we got to a point, I just want to point out, this is from the very first bookstore when I did the big haul on a Saturday. I kind of went into a trance at one point and I just kind of picked books up and thought, I want that book. And I'm going to buy that book. Another T. Kingfisher one is the Twisted Ones. This was where I kind of went into a trance and I was like, oh, T. Kingfisher, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And I picked up like 6 books without thinking. And even my friends, I'd gone with 2 friends, they were saying we've found like my favourite section. And they just kept talking. And the more they kept talking, the more I kind of had time to like look at books and think, oh, I want a book. And you know, if I got into that bookstore on my own, I think I would have only spent about 30 quid. They even says at one point, there was like, they made a joke and says like, oh, the longer we stay here, the more we talk, the more Aaron spends money. I'm like, damn right. This has been on my Goodreads since finishing, it's in the bottom of the stack now, since finishing Hollow Places. I think I picked this up originally for the offer. No, I didn't pick this up. My friend picked this up, and I'm really glad that they picked it up because I'd added it to my Goodreads to be read list like fairly recently. Don't Let the Forest In by C.J. Drews. I'm really looking forward to reading. I'm looking forward to reading all these books. I mean, I wouldn't have these books if I wasn't looking forward to reading them. I very nearly started reading this when I was trying to figure out what to read next, and then obviously I started reading this. It was either a choice between this or this. So we've got Welcome to the Hyandong Bookshop by Huang Bo-reum. I'm really sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing names. I think it's for the fact that I got these offers on like the buy one get one half price. My friend picked out this one. It's Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kwang. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at pronouncing names. Another T. Kingfisher. This is when I said that I went in a trance and I just kind of picked up every T. Kingfisher book that I saw. So this is from the first bookstore that I went to, Nettle and Bone. Don't even have a clue what this book's about. Another book that's part of the whole theme that I went with of an Asian book translated into English, and I believe this was The Rainfall Market by Yu Yong Guang. Really sorry, we all know by now. These next 2 books are from Morrison's. So if anyone's been into a Morrison's, if you go to the checkouts at the bottom, there's normally like a bookshelf and they've got books on. Obviously they're not going to have like plates on, are they, because it's a bookshelf. But no, it's like a charity thing. I don't know the charity. It's got like one of those little coin collection things. They advise like a recommended £1 donation for each book that you pick up. This one, I don't know how I feel like, because I don't know. It doesn't feel sticky, but it feels a bit tacky. The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Another one. This is a controversial book, and I'd like to be able to think that I can separate the author from the book, like from the material, because I've heard a lot of controversial things about this next person. I haven't really looked up the controversy. I do care about the fact that Sandman has been cancelled after this next season that comes out, so I'm really hoping that they've not filmed it under the expectations of having 3, cancelled it, and then we'll end the series on a cliffhanger. Neil Gaiman and Nancy Boys? I don't know. I told my friend anyway, and they was like, oh, it's The American Gods. Yeah, American Gods. They basically said it's kind of like an unofficial sequel, but you can technically still read this, knowing that I will want to read American Gods. I think these next lot of books are by, like, from the first bookstore that I went to on the Friday. A Cosmology of Monsters by Sean Hamill. Don't like the fact that it's glossy. The Glass Box by, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this name correctly, J. Michael Straczynski. I'm so sorry. I really can't pronounce it. I can barely read. Third to last, The White House Witches by C.L. Cook. Second to last, we've got another book that's in this series. So when I mentioned earlier that I've got like the whole crime series that I'm trying to avoid now, I mean, I can't really avoid it when I'm buying potentially more books. Coniston Case by Rebecca Tope. That is part of the Lake District series. So the first one is The Windermere Witness. The Bindings by Bridget Collins. I only picked it up because it looked pretty. I believe that is all the books, guys. Do not expect another book haul video for at least another 6 months, or actually until June, because if I'm fortunate enough to get gift cards for my birthday, then they're all going to go on books. I've brought all these books because I technically kind of count them as an investment towards this new bookcase, because when people have a house that they can decorate to exactly how they want to, they kind of have themes for stuff. My living room, I kind of want it to be like a forest. Like, imagine you're kind of immersed in a forest. By buying all these books, I'm kind of like, I'm going to use it as my it's not just an investment to like look nice. It's not like to feel nice, I mean, it's a kind of an investment to look nice because it will be my backdrop for all of my videos. So I need to kind of invest in making it look nice and everything. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found some books that you may like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll put it here this time. Bye!